Kia ora, e te whānau. Welcome to our Facebook live chat today here for Plunkett Whanau Whina. My name is Maxine. I'm a Plunkett Line clinical leader, and I'm joined today by my wonderful colleagues Rosalind and Makere. Today we are going to be talking about safe sleep and SUDI prevention because today is Safe Sleep Day 2022. Te rā Mokopuna. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Makere and Rosalind, for coming on and having a kōrero with me about safe sleep today. So do you guys want to just introduce yourselves and your roles?
Yeah, sure. Shall I go first? I will. Kia ora, everyone.
Go for it.
My name is Makere. I am a Plunkett Line nurse. I've been at Plunkett Line for 6 months now, I think. But before that, I worked in the community as a tamariki ora nurse for 6 years. I am a mama to 6. I have a wide range of children. My oldest is 16 and she's my whāngai girl, so she's a foster baby. We've had her for a while now, and she's our big baby. She's 15, and then I have a 14-year-old son, 12-year-old son, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old Pepe. So, yeah, doing it for a while.
Cool.
Awesome. Rosalind.
Kia ora tātou, ko Rosalind toko ingoa, ko Plunkett Line Senior Nurse no Philippines o ko Tipuna, kei tono ho'au ki Wellington. I am a mom of 2 lovely girls. One is 8, turning 9 next year. And another one who's turning 4 in January, a New Year's Day baby. So lovely to see you guys here today at our kōrero, which is, just National Safe Sleep Day. So we'll talk more about SUDI today.
That's right. Yeah. So obviously, we've all had our pepe, our children, our tamariki, and we all know that sleep is one of those issues that's front of mind for most parents, and especially parents with babies. So when we've got them under one, sleep is definitely a major topic. And it's definitely something that we are often striving to get more of and not getting enough of as parents ourselves. And we know that with our pepe, their sleep is going to change a lot in that first year, and their sleep needs change a lot as well. One of those is keeping them safe while they're asleep. So as we all know, in New Zealand, unfortunately, we have a relatively high rate of sudden unexplained death in infancy, and that is something that we can work to reduce as a nation, as healthcare workers, and supporting whānau out there, because we basically see that majority of SUDI deaths are preventable, and it's those preventative measures that make a difference in keeping our pepe safe when they're sleeping. So Hapai Te Hauora is the National SUDI Coordination Service, and they do a lot of work in this area. So today they're putting on Safe Sleep Day 2022. And there's key messaging around that we're getting out today and supporting, because it's exciting, and we're coming up to Christmas, and it's that time of year, and it's an exciting and happy time where we're spending time with our whānau. We may be traveling around the motu. We are going to stay with people, or people are coming to stay with us, and sometimes that might mean that our sleep spaces change, our sleep environments change, the person caring for pepe might change, so we need to be prepared going into this time of year to sleep our babies safely wherever we wind up. So there's some clear messaging around that, always face up, face clear, and smoke free, especially in pregnancy. And being prepared for all different environments wherever we go, ensuring that there's always, at this time of year, someone who is sober and safe to be designated as the person caring for baby, making sure baby is put in a safe sleep space, and supervising them throughout the holiday period or the celebrations. Another aspect this year is that we've still got a lot of lingering illness going around in the communities. So we know that one thing that increases the risk for SUDI for our infants, our babies, is when they're unwell. So trying to reduce that spread of illness to our babies, still, even though it's almost summer, we're still having to manage all these bugs in the community and keeping those who are unwell maybe away as a safe distance from baby to try and stop baby from getting sick, immunizing babies so that they don't get those diseases that we immunize against. So I guess the thing is, the messaging for Te Rā Mokopuna Safe Sleep Day 2022 is, the vision of reducing the rate in which SUDI occurs in New Zealand, families and communities. It is preventable, and the risk for our babies can be significantly reduced when we take the right steps. Cool. So, Mākere, do you want to tell us a little bit about your mahi around safe sleep?
Yeah, so I worked in the community as a tamariki ora nurse in the Wairarapa region, and we're quite lucky there. We have some amazing weavers in our community, and I also, when I was a tamariki ora nurse, I had quite close contacts with Family Start and a lot of social workers and a lot of access to pepe pods, wahakura, and training around that too. So, we would also have our pepe pods in the building with us. So we always knew as soon as we went into a whānau and we would be able to, talk to them about their situation, where baby's sleeping. If we knew that there wasn't a safe space for them, we were able to provide those pepe pods straight away. We could go into the community, pass it out to one of the other kaimahi that might be working with us. And share the knowledge that we all did, and we all made sure we were all passing on the exact same messages. So we all did the training around it and passing out, the place baby in their own beds, smoke free, and if smoking was part of the whānau, then hapu, mama, smoking initiatives and smoke free initiatives, because we all know that the best that babies smoking is a real risk for our pepe. So, trying to encourage a safe environment for parents to give up smoking and reducing that risk of SUDI as well. And always placing baby on their back, encouraging breastfeeding. Breastfeeding's another amazing SUDI kind of reduction type thing, reduces the risk of SUDI. So so those were the messages that would pass out, and we would be able to do that all together and all make sure that we were all doing the same messaging.
That's right. And it is really clear messaging. We know what makes the risk higher. There's so much research and locally driven research, around Aotearoa, research that's come out of this country in terms of, exactly, lots of aspects that actually impact that risk of SUDI. And we know that these things work, to reduce that rate. So it is really important to have the same messaging out there, eh? And also you make a good point, like around, not, some whānau not having a safe sleep space for their baby, and they are accessible. So do call us out there, whānau, if you don't have a wahakura or a pepe pod, or you don't have somewhere safe for baby to sleep. Give us a call at Plunket Line 0800 933 922, because we can put you in touch with the people out there and the groups out there that are providing these in the community. Rosalind, at Plunket Line, we have a lot of discussion around safe sleep. and supporting whānau in their in their home environments, and what it looks like for them, what safe sleep looks like for them. And at this time of year, we are getting a lot of calls about it, and it's really good to be able to support people who are thinking about how they're going to keep their children safe and sleep over this period. So what sort of things are we considering when we are thinking about the summer period and the holiday period and safe sleep?
I guess what we're trying to also, tell our callers is that your safe sleep environment may change, for you and your whānau during this time of the year. So coming up, the holiday, planning ahead of time and making sure that you know where Pepe would be sleeping. Or, for example, if, we're going to be staying in a hotel or in another place in a batch or other homes as well, how will their sleeping spaces look like in those particular areas? And of course, it's, the Christmas season, the holiday season. So everyone would be happy and merry and jolly. And of course, you can, let's say we're going to be having a few drinks or two. Someone will be caring for a baby who's sober. Um, you don't want to be sleeping with Pepe and you're sick or you're intoxicated with alcohol and things like that. So I guess the idea about safe sleeping practice and the planning, if someone's going to be drinking, someone will need to look after the baby as well. There's also a good app that we promote at Plunket Line, and it's developed by just having a way look at it, developed by Primary Health Network, Haura Matuaki Te Tonga, which is called Feed Safe app. Now, I know this might be more just for breastfeeding moms, but you can download that app as well. And that will give you roughly a guide on, when you've started to have a drink and when are you going to be safe to feed baby as well after that. So, yeah, so it's
That's a
called Feed
really
Safe
good
app.
point.
Yeah,
That's right, because that keeps baby safe as well.
absolutely.
That's awesome. Maybe we can put the link on our website after the chat. That would be really great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess one thing is, like you say, like being prepared when we are going into new environments or new people are coming into our environments or whatever, our sleep space changes. One of the best things we can do is have baby's own portable sleep space. So if we're talking, it might be people use, a bassinet that you can carry around, or it might be a pepe pod or a wahakura. They are the best ways to keep our little ones safe. Tell us, Marketing, you've got the youngest out of us three. You've got the most recent infant experience. Tell us
Yeah.
about your sleep space for Pepe.
I've been really lucky. With my 3-year-old daughter, I was gifted a wahakura from one of my close friends. So she had that. And then when I had my last son, Martina, I did a few weaving workshops with some beautiful wahine in my community. And it was a 3-day workshop, and my mum and my sister came with me, and we did a lot of karakia, and we did it was also special for me because the harakeke that we harvested was from my marae as well. So this my wahakura was made specially for my pepe. And we spent 3 days while I was hapu, talking with some beautiful women, my mum, my sister, and we talked about the importance of it, and we learnt the tikanga around harakeke. We don't smoke around it. And then we talk about why we don't smoke around it, because harakeke is a live thing. And it's the same messaging that we give to our parents as well when we're talking about about safe sleep spaces. It's a living thing, and the smoke, it's toxic and stuff like that. And when we're laying down and doing our weaving, we're talking about laying baby on their back. And then we're tucking them in, and you've got your mama and your papa. So your pepe lies in between mama and papa, and then you've got your whakapapa around, your four corners are the grandparents and the guiding you through sleep. And it was beautiful. It was a really cool experience. And I think they do a lot of these. I know that Hapai has weavers and a lovely lady, I can't remember her name, I think it's Jenny, that does a lot of weaving for them, and they do a lot of courses around nationally around New Zealand.
That's Hapai Te Haura, isn't it?
Te Haura, yeah.
Yeah, so again, for whānau out there, you can look up on their website and maybe get in touch with your local safe sleep coordinator, because they will be able to link you up with any of those wānanga that are going on around the country. And also, if you are in need of a pepe pot or a wahakura, they'll be able to gift them out. So do check out that website, or like I said, give us a call at Plunkett Line. That's a really amazing experience you speak of there, Makere, because it's it's you're creating it. It's for your pepe with love and with tikanga around it, and you're doing it as a whānau. It's not just on you, and that's a really important message. Safe sleep for our pepe is everyone's responsibility. It's not just on mama.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think the more of your village, your whānau know about the safe sleeping messages, the better supported you are to make those those right choices. And
and that's really relevant at the moment. Again, if we're going away to stay with auntie or nan, or but in my day we used to sleep them on their side, and when I was having little kids, when I was having my babies, we used to prop them up with pillows, and that's right, and that is they were doing the best with their knowledge at the time. But our knowledge has grown through research, and we know now that actually if we do things differently, if we change those practices, we can save more infant lives from SUDI. So it's not that what they were doing was wrong. It was just, that was the knowledge of the time. Now we have different knowledge, and that's it's safe, and I think, again, people might be wanting to, Nan might be wanting to co-sleep with Pepe, and of course Pepe wants to be in someone's arms, wants to be close, wants to be up against someone, and we know that. But some whānau do choose to co-sleep. It's about doing that safely. Hey, so what do you reckon? Are the best ways to to keep babies safe if you are choosing to co-sleep? Rosalind?
I think safely if we're wanting to co-sleep, because I personally, speaking from experience, I grew up in a family in the Philippines, and the weather is quite warm and humid. So co-sleeping there is okay. However, like what you said, basing on research now, we know, and when we're living in a different country, we use lots of beddings and duvet covers and whatnot. So when we are sleeping, in bed with baby, making sure that there's no other, people sleeping there. Sometimes there would be mom and dad, but I guess it would depend on how you would do it as a family. Maybe have a discussion with papa and mama that maybe just baby and mom in the bed, or baby would be on a pepi pod or in a wahakura, so we know that baby still got their own safe sleeping space and environment, because we don't know what kind
Absolutely.
of bed that they're sleeping in. And
Adult beds are very soft, aren't they?
yeah, they're not really that firm as compared to their own sort of mattress and bassinets as well. So you can still safely sleep with baby, because there are now quite a few, I guess there's now quite a few sleeping aids around there, but making sure that you have the informed decision to sleep where baby would be sleeping. And it's very, very important that they have their own sleeping space, especially for little babies, the wahakura and the pepipad. So maybe people might be asking, what about if we've got bigger kids? What if they've outgrown their wahakura or their pepipad? What would be the next best option? So I guess what we say, the cot, or if you're out and about, the porta cot, and making sure that we keep it clear, no other toys, no other blankets, making sure that the mattress is really quite firm, and no one's smoking as well around the baby. And promoting, of course, breastfeeding, of course, because that's also another way to keep the baby safe as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely with those older kids, and like we said at the start, there is going to be that change in their sleep needs over that first year. So when we're looking at the little ones, maybe the under 6 months, we're definitely looking at that higher risk age. And so I guess the main thing around that is that they are having their own sleep surface. So it might be that they are on the bed with mum, no other adults, but they have their own safe firm sleep surface. So in the pepe pod or the wahakura, because those mattresses are going to keep their airways open. Our mattresses are too soft. If baby lies on it, they're in a bit of a dent and their neck will, like bend up a bit.
Or airway. Yeah.
That will stop. Yeah. If we think of their airway as a tube, and like a hose, and if you get a kink in that hose, it cuts off the flow, doesn't it? So it's about keeping their head and their body flat. So we can also share links for this, all of this information after in the comments as well. So whānau out there, if you have missed anything, that's cool. You'll be able to watch this video afterwards, as well as it will be up on the website, and there will be more resources and information there too. So again, I just want to go back to that, your messaging around that, Rosalind. It's really good to, think of those things. No other, if you are co-sleeping, use a wahakura or a pepe pod to keep them safe. Make sure baby has their own bedding, using adult bedding, like you said, big duvets in New Zealand. And, it gets cold here. And even in December, it was freezing yesterday in Wellington. So you never know, be prepared. It's important for Bubba to have their own sleep bedding and stuff like that. The other thing would be the opposite as well. Being in summer, we don't want to be overheating our babies, and sleeping up against another human, a parent, is going to make them hot too. So just being really aware of that, keeping them temperature regulated, because they can't do it so well themselves. I guess the other thing would be, thinking about other places that, people may not have considered, that baby winds up sleeping. So like, what about prams and car seats and stuff? Rosalind?
Yeah. I guess Makira's about to say something. You go, Makira.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, they look really enticing, and baby does look very comfortable in them. But again, if you think about their airway as a tube, they might not be comfortable. You've always got to check on them when they are asleep, because you just don't know. They're a little bit of a kink. They're not quite secure because they're not flat. So the best space we know for baby to sleep is a flat surface, because that's straight straw when you think of their airway. So they're not a recommended sleep space for them to sleep.
And I know that we spend lots of time in the car over summer as well. We might be traveling, and baby might be in the car seat for a couple of hours at a time, sort of thing. It's always good to stop every 2 hours. And even our little babies, they need to stretch their bodies out. They need to stretch their back and their neck out, to keep keep them comfortable, but also allow them to breathe easily, and making sure that they're fitted into their car seat or pram correctly. If they're in those positions where their head is slumping, again, it's the same thing with the through the tubes concept, like a hose.
And trust me, when you're traveling and a baby, you're going to want to pull over multiple times to change bums, breastfeed. That's
right. Yeah, that is absolutely right.
You won't need to time it. Your children will let you know that they need
absolutely.
I know that is so true. Traveling with kids, Yeah, so just being mindful of those things. And when we're thinking about, when we get to our destination, even though it may not be home, it may not be the environment that you guys are used to caring for Peppy in, still allowing baby to have that time on the floor and on their tummy, and getting that strength in their neck and supporting their development while you're away as well, because that's really important too. That's another thing that can, keep them safe, or support safe sleep as well, is when they get that strength in their body and they have that time to really build up their muscles, and develop as they do. I guess some other things just to mention around safe sleep. You touched on this before, Rosalind, around keeping the safe sleep spaces, whether it is wahakura, pepe pod, or a cot, making sure that we are keeping pillows out, keeping any blankets that are used tucked in. Let's talk a little bit about the safe kind of sleep spaces and how we ensure they are safe.
Yeah, because I guess when it comes to safe sleeping environment, or the tools that we need, um, we don't want to be recommending soft sleep surfaces and loose beddings. And studies have identified that some of these are significant risk factors of SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, for babies. Like the soft surfaces, particularly when we placed babies under that soft surface. So making sure that their mattress are really nice and firm. um Loose bedding, sometimes we think that, oh, they might be feeling too cold, we'll put another one on, and then we'll put the um those sort of really furry layers that you put on the
Like the
couch. Or
micro fleece ones?
yeah, no, not really
Yeah.
recommending those, because they're
No,
not
we
very
don't.
breathable.
They're not
Yeah, they're
breathable and they trap the
no,
heat, hey? And that's the
exactly.
thing. That's a really good point, Rosalind, because our infants,
Mm,
they don't have the ability, their bodies aren't developed enough to
regulate their
um
temp. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. So they
yeah.
need breathable materials.
Materials. That's correct, Maxine. And also, some moms would say, "Oh, my baby's got a very flat head," and someone
Mm,
says so and so recommends this pillow that we can use so that they might have this perfectly rounded shape head, which is again, not recommending pillows and anything that would not make them flat on the bed.
no,
Again, that kind of analogy of the kinking the straw.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the sheepskin, porous mattresses. So again, natural fibers, those that
Mm,
really, really absorb moisture. And now we're coming up the warmer season, although hey,
mm.
we're summer at the moment, kind of weather. Um, yeah,
Hopefully soon.
overheating. Yeah. Yeah, so overheating as well. So we don't want to be
Mm,
overheating Pepe. So really natural fibers are the best, and
mm,
nothing in the sleep space with babies. Um, Clothing or blankets on infants. I guess making sure that we check, the temperature at home. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, say the normal recommended room
ideal,
temperature.
yeah.
Ideal,
Mm,
yeah, and of course the season of the year. And
mm,
definitely avoiding overheating. So they should be lightly clothed for sleep. And some babies are really, really quite born like warm. They've got really like
mm,
this warm bodied, and of course you're right, they can't regulate their body temperatures yet.
mm.
So it's normally a layer more than an adult. So
That's right.
yeah, yeah.
And dressing the baby, not the bed,
Yes.
for sleep.
Mm,
Um, that's a good way to think of it too, isn't it?
mm,
Yeah, because the less things in the bed, the safer. So if you can put as
Mm,
much clothes on baby and make sure they're comfortable, so you're not putting
mm.
extra layers in the bed with baby, it's
That's
perfect.
really good tip, actually.
yeah.
And other things like, someone might give Pepe a really
Mm,
cute little soft toy or something, and it
mm,
might look really nice in the cot, but we just want to make sure there's none of those toys, none of those sort of, you know, what are they called? The comforters that they, little
mm,
rag doll things
mm.
that they hold
The
on to,
Jellycat teddies, I think they're quite
what
a big thing at the moment.
what's
Jellycats?
that? Jelly cats.
Yeah, they're the really cute little teddies and bunnies, and I
Mm.
like
Never heard of it.
they're
Are they like
Crazy.
the squishy ones?
yeah,
Are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, they're good comforters for babies,
Oh, that'll
but
be
not
the
in the
top of
bed.
the Christmas list, I guess, for a
Mm.
few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. So we've touched on, keeping our infants safe in their sleep and a few aspects of it, eh? So we know that keeping their safe, the safest place for baby to sleep for every sleep is going to be in their own safe sleep space. And to keep that sleep space safe, we're needing that firm surface. We're needing baby to be on their own flat firm mattress. We're needing baby on their back, not on their side, not on their front. We're needing the bedding to be minimal. Dress your baby, not the bed. Ideally, Pepe would be smoke-free from pregnancy, and there'd be nothing else in the cot with them. Using those safe sleep devices, those portable ones like a Pepe pod or a wahakura
Mm.
on the bed, if you're choosing to co-sleep, because we know that whānau out there do choose to co-sleep, and that is your decision, and it's about doing that safely for
yeah.
yourself.
When I used mine, we had ours in the middle of the bed, and we had it so Martina's feet were at our face, so there were
Mm,
no chance of the blankets going over him or anything like that when we were moving around. So he was at the top of the bed. Our pillows were by his feet, so we
Mm.
knew that he was very safe there without any other blankets getting pulled over him.
mhm.
We've got lots of kids, so we've got a super king bed. So our beds we don't touch. It's amazing at night time. But we
Nice.
knew that he had a very safe spot there for him. So yeah, so it's just knowing the right spaces to put baby to. We knew
Mm,
that it was best for us feet to head for us
mm,
because we knew that there wasn't another risk of that extra bedding going over him. So he definitely had his safe spot there with
Mm.
his own bedding, his own firm mattress in the wahakura,
mm,
co-sleeping next to
Mm.
us. So he was close. So I got that security.
mm.
Breastfeeding, I was able to feed him during the night when he was waking 4 times a night, and he was there. And
Not
yeah,
have to actually
Mm.
get out of bed, eh? That makes a
no,
big
No,
difference.
no.
yeah, and having a
And
good sleep
yeah,
myself, knowing that he was close
yeah.
by and that he was safe
That's
too.
mm.
So
And the
yeah,
wahakura and pepe pod are really ideal way because when we think
Mm.
about it, you know, it's got airflow, through the gaps in the weaving and the raranga, and it's also got the pepe pod's the same. It's got slits in there where air can flow through. They can smell mums there, they can
Mm.
smell
Mm.
dads there. They know that they are surrounded by their whānau. They may not need to be, they don't need to be touching to know that you guys are there. And that provides them that sense of comfort too, eh?
yeah,
So yeah, co-sleeping can be done safely. Yeah.
yeah.
Using a pepe pod or a wahakura.
Mm.
I guess, yeah, is there anything else we want to kind of touch on around these messaging, this messaging for Te Rā Mokopuna 2022, Safe Sleep Day 2022? What do
Yeah,
you
and I
reckon?
think we've touched quite a few things, Maxine, and
Mm,
especially the bed sharing and the co-sleeping, and also being mindful and being aware of the devices that we use for baby safe sleep. And now the
mm,
Wahakura, the Pepe Pod are out there, and they're really you can sort of ask around, ring Plunket line so we can get you in contact with your local providers regarding how you're
mm,
going to get them, or if your baby's under 6 weeks, then you can have a chat with your midwife about that as well, and they would be able to help you get those Pepe Pods and Wahakuras. And I know at this age, there's quite a few things out there that are out in the market, but definitely, making sure that we have all these informed decisions on
mm.
what is the best, safest sleeping space that you can gift to your Pepe as well.
I think
Yeah,
that's an
that's
important thing too,
awesome.
is because
Mm,
a lot of sleep things aren't regulated. There's not a lot of
that's
regulations
right.
on what's available on the market. So if you're not
Mm,
sure if you're going to get something, talk to your midwife or your plunket nurse or your tamariki ora nurse about it because
mm,
um, there is no regulations and you could be
Mm,
buying something that is marketed as a safe sleep space, but it's not actually a safe sleep space.
That's absolutely right. And parents, with babies, so much pushed on us, when we have little ones, and so much going on in the in the practices of other parents around us, but it's about us making a decision with the information we've got to do what's best for our own pepe, and whānau. So giving us a call at Plunket Line is a good place to start if you're not sure if something is right for you or safe for your baby. Yeah, I guess another thing as well, just, again, on that topic, those things, those sleep aids, those, flavor of the month items out there, they might look super comfy, they might look really lovely, but again, they're not necessarily safe, eh? So just keeping that in mind, whānau. Cool. So there's some safe sleep sort of messaging. And this year it's about tips when putting pepe to sleep. So face up and lay pepe flat on their back, face clear, and gentle handling of pepe is really awesome. That's where we want to be pushing that messaging this year. So is there anything else you guys wanted to add today?
I think it's just basically, trying to understand the basics of SUDI, like what is SUDI, what is SIDS, and we know that it's still happening out there. And basing on research at the moment, I don't know to be exact what the numbers are, but we're seeing an uprise of SUDI cases again at the moment. And surprisingly, not just the very young babies, but also the older pippies, like mostly even like a year older or so, maybe because we're being a bit too, I guess we're being a bit too lenient, thinking that, oh yeah, my baby's already 1 year old, they're not going to be they're already outgrown the risk of SUDI, but sometimes we think that it's still important to make sure that they are definitely in their own safe sleeping spaces as well all the time, whether it's sleeping at night or having daytime naps, safe sleep at all times. Yeah.
Thanks, Roslyn. That's really awesome message. And you're right, there has been an increase in the last couple of years, and there's probably multiple factors around that. But one factor we know is that without the face-to-face connection with our Tamari Kia Ora Plunket well-trained nurses, and having difficulty accessing those safe sleep discussions has been a factor, with the health system and the lack of face-to-face that's been going on over the COVID years, I think, lockdowns and stuff like that. So, yeah, that is a really, really good point to be aware of. Markere, do you have any kind of last comments?
I guess, holiday season, you're going to be traveling, partying a little bit, maybe catching up with family. And so just plan ahead and just, if you're going to be in another sleeping somewhere, and making sure you've got a safe space there, talking to whoever's there to see whether or not, they've got children and they've got space available, so you don't have to pack a lot of things. So just pre-planning it could save a lot of time, and just make sure you're safe. If you are going to have a few drinks, make sure that there's somebody around that's sober, that's going to be able to look after baby, and just have a really good holiday. And just remember, that you can travel, you can do all these things, just even with having little children, you can still celebrate Christmas the way you normally do. Just
That's
be a little
right.
bit more prepared. Yeah. Have a
Absolutely.
plan. Planning
Yeah.
ahead is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
does.
you said before, with the taking things from home and trying to implement as much of the sleep kind of patterns that you have at home and the routines while you're away traveling, that'll make it a lot easier for baby at night time too, and a lot more settled, which will make it more safer for you to put baby in that safe spot too. So try and keep everything as regular as you can and as much of the routine that you can. So sleep associations that you have at home, do them while you're away on holidays too.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Thank you, Marketing. Thanks, Rosalind. You guys have been amazing. I've had a really lovely chat with you guys today. So it's been awesome. And thank you, whānau out there, for joining us for our live chat today around Safe Sleep Day 2022. Woohoo! Have an awesome holiday time, December, Christmas, summer, everyone out there. Enjoy your pepe, enjoy your tamariki, keep yourselves and your whānau safe. And remember, if you have any questions, you need any support, you give us a call at Plunket Line. We're here 24/7. You can always speak to a registered Plunket Line nurse. And our phone number is 0800 933 922. There's also a lot of great information on our website, the Plunket Whanau Whina website. Also, a lot of awesome safe sleep information on the Hapai Te Haora website. And if you are a hapu mama and you're needing support to quit smoking and be smoke free, give us a call. We can point you in the right direction for support with that as well. Cool. All right, everyone. Ka kite,
Ka
and
kite.
have an
Ka kite.
awesome day.
Thanks, team.